push him on it. You were blindfolded the whole time? Really? How did you know it was two people? Fucky. By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time. So I didn't know I didn't know that until I made my escape. How did you even make your escape? And you were in the same room as your kidnappers. They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely two people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. Fuck off. The kidnappers disappeared. The room fell into a sudden silence. I'd been left behind like an unwanted mutt. What do you mean by an unwanted mutt? What a pointless question. It's not like he's gonna tell you anything new, you know. It's a poetic simile. You should learn how to use them too. Fuck your similes, you piece of shit. You may look refined on the outside, but you're a commoner. But it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well. Then those cuffs on your wrist, I suppose you're still cuffed in that case? I am well aware of how I am chained to reality. I couldn't find that key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from the jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. Dude, shut the fuck up. How do you run away if you're blindfolded? How do you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked. Which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. Wrong! I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. Wrong! 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 Get fucked, piece of shit. Hit him with it. You say the door leading out was locked, but was it really? Uh-huh. What are you talking about? That room behind that salon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right? Sheena? Oh, fuck. We couldn't see the lock, could we? Or like the door. Damn it. Yes, that's correct. Then take a look at this. Music kick in. Haha. Out of nowhere. What is that? A sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from this end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. Yep. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why didn't you just not simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. Really? As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the room. In fact, you kept the key in the room, but whatever. Actually, yeah, the key was in, like, the cardboard thingy. It was why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. And what would that be? A motive. What else? I thought motives didn't matter. You honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would have hatched up a completely pointless scheme, such as kidnapping himself? I do have evidence for that. This proves that Lance did have a motive to commit the crime. Fucking suck on my love letter. To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. Must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh? All right, I give up. I abducted myself. Lance! It's over, Lily. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. I hope he gets the chair. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off, with that $1 million, but now, that dream is over. Oh, Lance. Then you're giving yourself up? Yes. I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with his plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you. Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money. That's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the Blue Badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekin saw was Miss Pops. But right then, the old man had to wake up. I was careless, and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on the Bad Badger costume, took the suitcase with $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father. Lolly, then it really was you. Miss Pops, please stop it. That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there's a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with $1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. The other person crumbled to the ground, and I ran scared for my life. I swear to God, we're not going 2 for 2. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think you'll turn into something so frightening. You're a lying piece of shit. If only I could have protected you. No, this fucking shitbag liar, he gave her the fake one. That was the Bad Badger's fake gun that she had. So she fired a blank. Dude fell onto the ground because this dude was probably in that costume. He faked it. And then he ended up later killing that other guy. That's what happened. 8 levels to this shit because she didn't know what happened in that room. So she would have assumed the costume he was putting on was the one that he kept or whatever. He ripped off the fake gun, gave it to her. 100%. That's what happened. So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was. If what she says is true, are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You'd be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is listen very careful to her confession once more and you'll see. Nah, she's a good girl. She'd never do it. I'm gonna get her off. Give me some more info. Please calm down and let's go slowly talk through this. Hi. All you have to do is simply tell us what happened at the stadium. Leave it to us to search out the truth. You can do that for me. Can you do that for me? Alright. So at the stadium, there's a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. That was the ransom money, wasn't it? Yes. That's how I was able to identify Mr. Beacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me. And what did he tell you? Well, he called me on my cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and run off with the ransom money. And about how he had a gun. Were you able to see the gun? Clearly see the gun. Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father. Why would you try to shoot me? You really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true, my father's left arm was raised with the gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops! Please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. I have something! He's right-handed. I know that for a fact. Because I've read that like 3 fucking times. It was gonna be like, what does this mean? Why does it matter? I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Good music. Then... The person pointing a gun at you from atop that stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Miss Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger had a model gun attached to his right hand. Yeah, so I would have pointed it with his left, you fucking idiot. Which is the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can expect someone who has never set a foot in court to catch it. Enough with the smugness. Out with it already. Miss Pops told us earlier. There's a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with $1 million in it. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops? Yes, exactly. I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. He had those huge sunglasses on his face. But if that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. Those 2 pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. They're both correct. They're both correct. Impossible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. It wasn't Colin in it. Miss Pops' entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. And what if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both of his hands. This one? Or just the Bad Badger head? Yeah. The costumes have 2 parts to them, a head and the body. Oh, I get it now. Well, there's also one with the gun ripped off of it, so he could have actually had one. We're just gonna ignore that. The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the Bad Badger. However, is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes. Or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The body of the dead Bad Badger would have probably been like this dude, Proto, right? Take that! What the heck is that? It's the Proto Badger. Yes, and it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Pops was wearing the Blue Badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the Pink Badger is the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the Proto Badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the Proto Badger costume? Be Lance. You bitch! Are you saying that what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon. On top of which he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing. The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that of a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed a murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretended to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have to do all of that, huh? There's but one reason, Lance Amano. You are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No! That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed. But what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Who is the what-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto-Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right? That's what the blanks are for. Of course, logically, if he would have been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this would be all the evidence you needed. This is how Lance made sure he wouldn't be hit with a bullet. Give me that fucking model gun. I've already thought all this ahead. The fucking 8 layers that I did, all coming together. We found one half of the Bad Badger costume in the hideout in a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Pops, where's the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough. Well, I mean, it would have sank to the bottom, necessarily. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. But I can't prove I'm wrong. Or you can prove. However, I can say that the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Ha! I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during the earlier time frame. Please wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in the state of being restrained. What Miss Pops saw. I came back to the hideout after the other two. Long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the next room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. He could have already been dead. That doesn't prove anything. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? If he was tied up to a fucking thing, how could he have left? We thought it would attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking to the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pops saw the victim with her own eyes, which means that the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. Miss Pops, I love you. But stop lying to me. Wait, actually, what about this long of other two? When exactly did you arrive back at the hideout? It was after we had picked up the ransom money. And where were you up until that time you returned? I was scouting the park out and making preparations for our escape. Walked around the various areas, looking for the best route. So each of them had their own rules to play. After I was done, I went back to the hideout. What kind of restraints? How did Lance look at that time? He looked shocked. He also looked a little down. When I saw that sadness in his eyes, Thank you, that's enough for now. And what of Mr. Deacon? What was his situation like? He was in the other room. You could not have you would not be able to tell he was dead. You're sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I'm certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Come on! Lance, he's such a kind soul. Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. Oh my god! That just had to be Mr. Deacon. She saw a bad badger head. Wait a minute. Can I present this as in, like, could have been, like, just literally just fucking Edgeworth? And he's just sitting there. The dude's already fucking dead. Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. Miles Edgeworth! It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I had handed over the ransom? So what more, buddy? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? That you showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a bad badger's head on. And then made your costume to escape together. Or so you pretended. What? What do you mean by pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the bad badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword, he then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot coming out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal, his subsequent detriment, all of that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right, you were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. How do you know that? Even if that were the case, Miss Popsa would have still seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go to the next room. So I really have no idea if you were there, you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing. Who said that? Only I can say that. Please, wait. Mr. Amano. Oh, Miles, my boy. Looks like you really are giving it your all. You better not be fingering my son. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad. Let's see, you're the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you now? Is that what I think it is? It's the Bad Badger costume the victim was wearing and a gun. I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the law? There. Now, Agent Lang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Amano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The Chief of Police? What the? Just who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. The Chief of Police. There, now. There's no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop in this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Now. Shut the fuck up. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of this land. I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand. Doesn't matter who found the evidence, its value remains unchanged. Alright now, let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I had a special forensic lab that I'm not on good terms with conduct the test. They verified that the blood on this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. Yeah, that gun's probably the fake one. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final piece of that evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it. These are the case-making pieces of evidence. I swear to God, didn't we have like a fucking... There's an extra gun. I'll be the judge of that. We'll rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Is that real? Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? Revolver. I mean, there's fucking one way to check. Like, you can just do a dry fire. How many shots were taken? Can I not, like, exactly more? They found Miss Pops' fingerprints on this gun. Can you let me hold it for a sec? I shouldn't if you don't know how to handle it. Besides, Miss Pops' prints are on it. Look, I'm wearing gloves. It'll be okay. I just want to take a look, that's all. It's not like I'm gonna run off with it. The only things I don't return are treasures. Stealing either one would land you in jail, you know. Fuck. All of these appear to be in there. I don't know how much detail they would fucking put into this thing. But fuck. It's really hard to tell. But if it was fired once, it would have gone that way, and that would be empty cartridge. Either way, that's a fake gun. What's this? It looks like there's something inside this custom head. Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here? Oh, that's from the broken mirror thing. So that little bullet hole. This bullet hole. Looks like it kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is a most important fact. Why's that? Because it's proof that the victim was shot at point blank range. Well, no shit, dude. The angle of the bullet had to almost be 90 degrees. It's like an 80-degree angle or 85-degree angle. Well, are these not the most definitive piece of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Come here, fucking little shitbag. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. And they proved that it was Lolly who killed Oliver, but Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. The fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch you on as she takes the punishment for a crime. That may be all you can do. However, I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wound me. Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence?